Welcome back from that short break. You're still watching New Vision TV News with me, Ruth Inasedia. We now look at what is making news in business.
In business today, Uganda and South Sudan have designed treaties to protect traders following the 2016 clashes in South Sudan that left Ugandan traders counting losses. Government officials from both countries have embarked on designing international treaties that would protect investors in the event of instability. Paul Busharizi joins us to explain what these treaties are and what they seek to address.
The new treaties might involve maybe some sort of registration, or either way, some sort of registration of what is happening. So if anything happens, it's easier
there's something to they can follow up.
Yes, absolutely.
Right. There's a situation, of course, going on in South Sudan. But will these treaties, if they come into play, help in any way?
If you have treaties and they are well enforced, it gives confidence to businessmen.
That's true. That's true.
The people who have, up to this point, been going to South Sudan are people who are taking huge risk. But the more established businesses do not take huge risk. They want to take risk that is manageable. So treaties, meaning that the governments have agreed and that governments will offer protection, can actually spur investment in South Sudan.
That's
trade.
True. Yes.
So it's very important for South Sudan. It's important for South Sudan that they regularize this, and it's of course important for Ugandans so they can go across and do their business without fear of...
That is precisely what we're looking forward to, because there are many traders I know that have interests in South Sudan and they were affected. But this is good news. Thank you, Paul.
Cool, thank you.
That is it for the news in business. We now take a look at our Daily Pearl of Africa series. Today it is the Uganda Equator. The Uganda Equator is one of the most and well-known landmarks in Uganda, from attracting tourists from outside the world to attracting people from districts it does not cross. Today we look at the Equator located at Kayawe in PG district, about 72 kilometers from Kampala City, the capital of Uganda. At this point along the Mpigi-Kampala highway is where the equator crosses through Uganda. On the other side is the North Pole and the other is the South Pole. This equator can be best described as an imaginary line on the world's surface halfway from the North Pole and a South Pole, thereby dividing the Earth into the northern and the southern hemisphere. This to the equator while in Uganda is an opportunity for a lifetime if you're not a resident of one of the 13 countries crossed by this imaginary line. Most tourists on the way to Queen Elizabeth National Park in western Uganda get excited about beating the line twice. Most of them like the attraction this line provides. This prompts them to take pictures with excitement of standing in both hemispheres of the world. For more Pearl of Africa stories, visit our website, which is newvision.co.uk/Pearl of Africa. A newspaper, the Sunday Vision, is also another home of adventures, so grab your copy every Sunday for Pearl of Africa stories. We now move on to our special report today. On July 1st this year, a large group of men, women and children set off on foot from Uganda's parliament in the capital Kampala, chanting the slogan, "Schools, not streets," and holding placards emblazoned with similar messages in different languages. For a distance of 10 kilometers, the group was wheeled on by a lively youthful band all the way to Nambole National Stadium in Nambole, drawing the attention of people along the route. From Nambole, they were reduced to a select squad team who were to complete the remaining 450
57 kilometers of a charity walk to a remote village in Napak district called Loma Ratoit in Uganda's northern eastern sub-region of Karamoja. Our reporter Joseph Kiza was with this team to Karamoja. We have the story.
This was the biennial Journey of Hope Awareness and Charity Walk in its third edition, a campaign organized by a Christian NGO drilling places and running under the tagline, Schools, Not Streets. On top of raising awareness on the plight of street-connected children, many of whom come from Karamoja, this year's walk was and still is also looking to raise funds for the construction of the first secondary school in Lomaratoit village, located in Irili sub-county. For 18 days, the workers, who included Drilling Places founding director Rita Ikemba, were to foot slog through various districts on the eastern route before reaching their destination.
We walk every day. It's going to be 18 days, and we walk an average of 30 kilometers per day.
New Vision's Joseph Kiza was assigned to join the group and cover the work, and would later call this participation as the most daring thing he has done thus far. Just like many on the team, it was his first time to embark on such a venture.
We are headed for Mbale, which is our next pit stop, but our final destination is Karamoja. We have walked about 204 kilometers already from Kampala. The entire journey is 467 kilometers. So we had a rest day yesterday on Monday. The walkers are in great shape.
The team was also joined by two German students, Tamara Walls and Linda Huling, who were at the time doing their overseas internship at Makinde Best Dwelling Places. The organization is involved in the rescue, rehabilitation and reconciliation of street-connected children. This is where beauty and the East met. In the days following their flagging off from Parliament by the now Gender Ministry's Permanent Secretary, James Ebintu, and other leaders, the team would peel away from the by-lynch that is Kampala City and step out into more open, refreshing countryside. They spent their first time out camped in Mukono district after their first day on the road offered them a perfect view of what to expect in the coming 17 days. Behind the scenes, the workers moved with a much larger team in charge of logistics and emergency medical services, so they had little to worry about. From the vast green-hushed swaths of sugarcanes and tea in Lugazi to the Hartlean outcrops of Bukedia, Soroti, Mbale and Napak districts, the charity workers could not help but marvel at how pregnant with refreshing scenery the eastern route is. An ambulance carrying a trio team of ELPA Uganda paramedics was on constant road patrol, monitoring the workers for dehydration, injuries and any other emergencies. Luckily, no major incident was registered across the 18 days of the journey, save for the common blisters, muscle aches and headaches. Armed with the willpower of a thoroughbred, the group ambled through sub-county after sub-county, town after town, and district after district on their 18-day trek. Their day would typically start as early as 4 a.m. with the culinary team the first up to prepare breakfast for the entire crew. The workers would climb out of their slumber at 5 a.m. to ready themselves for the road, keeping in mind that they had to cover an average of 30 kilometers every day. Day by day, the team inched closer to Karamoja, their destination. This is a region that had long carried the unflattering label of a dry, forgotten place, but from what the team saw in Napak, that critical tag will have been ditched years ago.
Napak, one of the 7 districts that make up Karamoja, did well to offer a sneak peek into what the rest of the sub-region is generally all about. Most of the road leading to the area is paved and is sandwiched with lush fields of green vegetation. The residents they met along the way were friendly. The climax of a long walk from Kampala to Napak was punctured with celebrations at Lomarotoit Primary School, where a large group comprising the district leadership, parents, school representatives and the Journey of Hope team convened. The final walk started at Irili Sub-County Headquarters, with the team joined by pupils of Kapwat Primary School and other groups. Sorority Best Kadokritea Brass Band led the 7-kilometer procession to Lomarotoit Primary School amid an air of fanfare. The school holds a significant place in the existence of dwelling places. The Christian NGO has been supporting local children to study at Lomarotoit Primary School so that they don't end up going to the streets. Money raised from the 2017 edition went into the construction of a classroom block at the school. This time round, our focus is on building of a secondary school in the village. It will be the first in the sub-county. Upon setting foot at the Lomarotoit Primary School grounds, the workers crossed the finish line by symbolically cutting the tape to signal their arrival at the final pit stop. Napak Resident District Commissioner Haj Lubega Abubakar Kadunabi and the guest of honor Joseph Lomanyang, who is Napak LC5 chairperson and Uganda Local Government Association chairperson, attended. Principal Secretary Timothy Teko represented the Chief Administrative Officer. Guests were treated to a dollop of local music that got many off their feet and onto the dance floor. Pupils of Lomarotoit Primary School staged lively performances before the entire Journey of Hope team was awarded with medals and certificates of participation. Meanwhile, on the sidelines of the event, a mobile outreach clinic was organized by Dwelling Places with ELPA Uganda and medical personnel from the local hospital. After the celebrations, the team spent the night at the Dwelling Places regional office in Irili before driving back to Kampala the following morning. This report was compiled by Joseph Kiza for New Vision TV. That is it we had for you today. Thank you for watching. Be sure to catch more news updates and other programs here on New Vision TV by visiting our website, which is newvision.co.ug/video. You can also follow us on social media. Facebook is the New Vision, Twitter is at New Vision Wire, Instagram is at New Vision Wire, and our YouTube channel is New Vision TV. Catch up with me on my Twitter handle. I am Rothy, the voice. Thank you for watching and have a lovely weekend. We close off with a fact file.